Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Live on ATD Radio from the Real Talk Studios, Mount E from New Jersey. This is the Sports Hounds. Brad's in Costa Rica. Me and Frank are holding down the Real Talk Studios here. Sports Hounds with Edel 10. Frank, we have some Super Bowl matchup. Championship Sunday has come and gone. Games were excellent, very intriguing. An A triple plus from a competition standpoint for the NFL. I was 0-2 yesterday, but that doesn't mean that I wasn't intrigued and loved watching the games. Andy Reid goes down again. Tom Brady in his third straight Super Bowl, the ninth of his career. Frank, I just saw a meme online. Tom Brady's been to 11 Super Bowls. The Patriots have been to 11 Super Bowls. So Tom Brady's been to more Super Bowls than the third team on that list. So the Patriots 11, Tom Brady's 9. I think it's the Steelers or something that have been in 8. I don't know. I got to find the meme. I can't really go on my computer tonight because it is cold out, folks. I got my gloves on. I got my hat on. Frank's got his garb on. But we're going to get through it.
Yep,
it's cold outside, but the sports talk is hot, as they say. You go to the Rams game. The Rams. Now, biggest takeaway from the NFC game is Jared Goff. Now, I've kind of been skeptical of Goff as a blue-chip franchise quarterback. Didn't know how much Sean McVay and his football intelligence, his football IQ had to do with Jared Goff's success. He's a blue-chip franchise quarterback after yesterday, Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
He outplayed Drew Brees, a top 5 quarterback of all time, in the toughest venue, in my opinion, in the NFL, the Superdome. And Jared Goff and the Los Angeles Rams are going to the Super Bowl. And that's all Jared Goff. I guess C.J. Anderson had a good game. He ran the ball decent. Todd Gurley had five touches. One of them was a touchdown. Jared Goff won that game for the Los Angeles Rams. I'm sure David Roska is somewhere on the left coast going nuts right now. His Rams are in the Super Bowl.
Going nuts. And, of course, about 15 minutes before he went live, he posted a comment on the YouTube.
He was in there.
Yep, he was in there.
He was in there. So it's the Rams and it's the Patriots. Not the most intriguing of matchups of the 4 combinations. I'll give you that, Frank. But let me call BS right out the gate here, Frank, on all these people that say that they are not going to watch the Super Bowl. That they're out.
All right. Are you going to name names or what's you going to do?
No, I didn't sit there with a list when I was going through my social media feeds looking at everyone who said, "Oh, I'm not watching. This doesn't intrigue me at all." Yeah, I'm calling BS. Every single sports fan should watch the Super Bowl. People who don't even watch football watch the Super Bowl. So I don't believe these people. The game's intriguing enough with the young Goff against the legend in Brady, with the young upstart kind of nerdy coach in McVay against the old grump Bill Belichick. You have 2 teams that have proven to be excellent at running the football. Patriots with Michelle and Burkhead and James White, and the Rams picking up C.J. Anderson off the scrap heap with an all-pro and Todd Gurley already in the mix. They both have, pretty good receivers. So I get this is not what the football world wanted. I wanted to see Andy Reid win. I thought the Saints were the best team in the league going into this weekend. They're out. Can't do anything about it. So I challenge the people saying that now, that in 2 weeks, when push comes to shove, I'll bet you 95% of those people are going to watch the Super Bowl. And you know what their excuse is going to be, Frank?
What's the excuse?
Well, I just decided to bet on it, so I have a vested interest.
There you go.
That's fine. Good for you. If that's what you need to get yourself up for the Super Bowl. As a total sports nerd, and I think I speak for most of the staff here at A2D Radio, like, I don't care if it's I don't care who's in the Super Bowl. As a sports fan and a sports nerd, I feel obligated to watch the Super Bowl. Does that make sense?
Of course. It's an American tradition, more traditional than apple pie and McDonald's.
It's true. You know, I think I've been a believer for many years that the Monday after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday.
Ooh,
you shouldn't have to go to work that day.
That'd be nice. I'm all in favor of that.
Well, the extra day off. Maybe, Martin Luther King Day. That's today.
An extra day off.
Did you have school today?
No.
There you go. You were off.
Yeah, I'm off, and then I wish I could get off on a Super Bowl Monday, but oh well.
Too close to March, but
too close.
I mean,
too close to March, too close to spring break.
I mean, they've really fallen by the wayside here. These national holidays.
Oh yeah.
It's Martin Luther King Day. I mean, that's not an automatic off. I know people that had work today.
Yeah.
I'm generally off on Mondays, and I just come do the show at night. It's my sleep day.
There you go.
But, a majority of my friends had work today. Day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday. And anyone that is barking their mouth right now that they're not going to watch the Super Bowl, I don't believe them.
I mean, there are people that are going to boycott the Super Bowl and watch the Puppy Bowl instead. It's ridiculous. Or the Kitten Bowl, whatever they're doing.
I mean, I get it. I like animals as much as the next person.
We need some cute animals here and there.
The Puppy Bowl?
Yeah. Unless if you want to adopt one of them.
That brings us to the Scanzano Sports poll question of the day. Which road team, both road teams, both underdogs, win yesterday, Frank? Which underdog impressed you more, the Patriots or the Rams? It's an easy decision it's the Rams.
Yeah, and I basically agree with that too, with the Rams.
Because, the Andy Reid favored in a chance, that was in the back of my mind all week, as it was everyone. And I know everyone wants to kill Andy today. Can't win the big one, terrible coach.
Time management issues, always chokes, Big Red.
Yeah, they scored a game-winning field goal. They had 32 seconds left when the drive started. So, I mean, that was different than Andy Reid's failures in the past, though.
Right.
His team showed up. His team showed heart. His team just got. Sometimes
they
get got.
They kept fighting and give the
but that
Chiefs a lot of credit.
But that narrative was in the back of every football fan's mind the entire week.
Yeah.
So the Patriots going in there and winning. Yes, it's an upset. Yes, it somewhat surprised me because I thought Mahomes was different and was going to get it done against Brady. But, I mean, the Rams going in there and beating the Saints, that surprised me. I didn't really give the Rams much of a chance. I didn't think Goff was going to be able to hang with Breeze. He did. And and I'm not buying that the refs handed the Saints the game.
I doubt. I mean, did that no PI call affect the game in some way?
It was a bad call.
It was a bad call. It was a huge missed call. But all game, both teams, mainly the Saints, were mostly dirty for most of that game.
When the refs missed 3 or 4 face masks on the Saints throughout the game.
Several face masks. I mean,
maybe the Saints should have scored more touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah.
Instead of kicking field goals.
Exactly.
And put the game out of Goff, Gurley, and McVay's hands. Early, go for the kill shot.
And I was talking to Ryan and Ralph during the games. I'm like when I saw that the
Drew Brees did
not
Saints, play well.
The Saints were up. I'm like looking at this rate, if the if the Saints scored 20 right before the half ends, you got to sign, seal, deliver. Saints go to the Super Bowl.
And
but
what was it, 13-3 at half?
Yeah,
correct?
13-10 at the half. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to take a little bit of a nap because they're up. I'm like, all right, probably nothing's going to happen. I'm going to nap a bit. But when I woke up from my 25-minute nap, I'm like, wait, what? The Rams are still in this game? Are you kidding me? But it's going to be – but the Rams definitely showed up. I'll give them a lot
I'm not
of credit.
buying this crybaby Peyton, crybaby Kamara, crybaby Saints fans that the refs cost you the game. Now, you need to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself and realize that you didn't play a good enough game to go to the Super Bowl. Drew Brees was not good enough. Mark Ingram was not good enough. Michael Thomas was held in check way better than he was against the Eagles, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And, the defense, I don't think they had a turnover, the Saints defense.
The Saints defense. Oh, they had the Gurley pass, the interception for Goff to Gurley got intercepted.
Right, very early, which they did not score a touchdown.
Which they did
on.
not. Which was I think
they started
went
inside
to a
the
field goal.
20. That's right. They started inside the 20 after an interception. It did not score a touchdown. You lost by 3 in overtime.
Yeah,
they did that twice in the first quarter. They went up 6-0 right off the bat when it's supposed to be 14-0.
Right.
Is that the ref's fault? Am I crazy?
Absolutely not.
I get it. They missed the PI call.
Right.
I get it.
But the refs missed a bunch of other calls too. So
the refs miss calls.
They do.
They're not good. The refs were not good this season
good.
in the NFL.
This was a very
I swear
bad
to
year
God,
for
if
officiating.
Clete Blakeman is refereeing the Super Bowl and he represents the best of the NFL officials in 2018, 2019, that's an absolute joke.
Let me take a
He
look.
is the worst referee in the entire league that I've ever seen. He's the Momo that said that the Eagles didn't recover. There wasn't a clear recovery for the Eagles in the game in Jerry World.
So the official.
Are you kidding me, dude?
The official referee for
How
this.
about that pick play they missed
for this game? Yeah.
When Watkins it was third or fourth. It was a huge play
pick
late.
Play, yeah.
Blatant pick play, and I believe it was Sammy Watkins went all the way down the sidelines. Could have been that Williams guy. He went all the way down the field and changed the whole game. It was a horrible miss. Bill Belichick was on the side throwing his Microsoft Surface. Good thing it was in a sturdy case.
Oh, yeah.
Threw it pretty hard. It was pretty cold. Screens are more susceptible to breaking when it's that cold.
And then I'm looking at the ref assignment right now, and it is John Perry reffing Super Bowl 53.
Well, it's not Clete Bakeman.
It's not Clete Bakeman.
That makes me happy.
And I'm definitely glad it's not Pete Morelli either.
As always, Sports Hounds brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, certified accountants. Visit GibsonMayer.LLC.com. Getting to be tax season, Frank. Go to Gibson Mayer.
I got my 1098E in for those student loans.
Yeah. We'll take him to Gibson Mayer and get you all straightened out.
All right.
GibsonMayerLLC.com. Let's go to the chat.
All right. So over on Facebook, not a lot of action going on, but we got Dion Brown joining in.
What's up, Dion?
Saying, guys, I'm so sick of those damn Patriots, especially their, with air quotes, fans. He spotted at least 10 people wearing Pats gear today. SMH.
Yeah, but that's not – you can't take a shot at their fans. I mean, they're from Ball. They're real fans. They're not Fugazi, L.A. fans who show up in the fifth inning of Dodger games and Fugazi Cowboy fans who are locked in their basements until the Cowboys start winning again next year. I can't. I get you. You're sick of them because they're great, but, you don't like it, beat them.
Yeah.
The Eagles beat them.
Yeah.
They were sick of it.
The
Nick
Giants
Foles,
the
Doug
Giants
Peterson.
and to
Giants
vouch for
beat 'em
Brad, the Giants beat him twice, so
yeah. Peyton Manning's beating them.
Yeah.
You're sick of seeing him win. You got to step up and win.
Oh, yeah.
You got to win the game. Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs fell short.
They did.
Over on YouTube, D-Love 127.98. Go Birds. My Rams. David Rosca, my Rams will beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl rematch. Foolish Demon, got to respect the Pats' consistency. Saints got gypped, still got to keep that lead. aren't Super Bowl refs usually a mix of the top refs? All those were from Foolish Demon. Did the Saints get chipped? The Saints chipped themselves because they didn't score enough touchdowns. They kicked too many field goals. So in that respect, they did get chipped. I don't know how they put together the Super Bowl refereeing crew. I'm just glad. I'm glad.
I'm not sure how they do that.
I'm glad Clete Blakeman is nowhere near it though. Guy stinks. He's a total hack. I couldn't believe he was in the AFC game.
All right. So in order to ref a Super Bowl, this is according to
this
Football
is the criteria.
This is the criteria right now. A referee must have at least 5 years of seniority, worked 3 years at the referee position, and worked the playoff game as a referee in a previous postseason. The other members of the Super Bowl crew must have a conference championship game on their resume or received on-field assignments in 3 of the last 5 postseasons, in addition to being at least a 5-year veteran.
Okay.
Now you know.
Yeah.
And knowing is half the battle.
It is. So, Scanzano Sports poll question today. Which road dog impressed you more, the Patriots and the Rams? For me, it's the Rams. I don't think they were the most talented team yesterday. I don't think they were the best coach team yesterday. They didn't have the best quarterback. Yet they're going to the Super Bowl. Very impressive. A real feather in Jared Goff's cap, young in his career.
Exactly.
A big-time win. And now, I didn't before yesterday's game started. Now, I consider Jared Goff to be a blue-chip franchise quarterback.
Definitely, especially the turnaround
he
had. You got to give Goff a lot of credit, and you got to give Sean McVay too.
He got away from Jeff Fisher, who's the most overrated coach in NFL history. Terrible.
Yeah,
but I would have no qualms with giving Jared Goff, $180, $200 million contract, which is what the market is going to dictate he's going to get.
Be due for his
contract.
But
I wouldn't have done that before the game started yesterday.
Right.
Now I will. He's earned my respect.
Yeah.
I give him a lot of credit.
And especially what Jared Goff has around him. He has a great wide receiving core in Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, his tight ends, Tyler Higbee. And, of course, you get Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson throughout the course of the season. So it's definitely definitely a lot that helped Jared Goff over the course of basically 2 seasons from what we saw out of that Jeff Fisher era and going into Sean McVay. You definitely saw a huge turnaround for him, and he's definitely going to be their guy for the next 10, 15 years. Hopefully we get to see a young quarterback rivalry emerge when Carson Wentz is fully back 100%. But, yeah, this is the beginning of something special in the NFC for many years to come.
And, as long as Breeze doesn't retire, they have a lot of good players around him, too.
Exactly.
That's a perfect segue, Frank.
Yeah.
Because PhillyVoice.com this morning with the bombshell. Wentz is selfish, not a team guy, just probably the biggest hack job journalism job I've ever seen.
It is.
I mean, the guy didn't get Carson Wentz's thoughts on the story he wrote. He didn't get Nick Foles' thoughts on this. Didn't even ask. Didn't get Doug P., any of those guys. And then you see all the players backing Wentz today.
Exactly.
So this guy clearly is –
he's got a vendetta against Wentz.
Well, this guy is clearly the president of the Folesian Society, Frank. Yeah. And, he's got a big-time beef to pick with Wentz because Charles Manaran, Chucks from Birds of a Feather.
Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Which that would be I'll definitely have to tune into that to see what he has to say about all this. But I saw he posted an article on his Facebook feed saying how the Eagles were the new Browns after they picked Carson Wentz.
Oh, yeah.
Look, if you think Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz, I salute. God bless you. He's not.
He's not.
It's clear that he's not. The Saints game should have proves that he's not.
Right.
But, all these Folesian Society people, they don't remember that Nick Foles fell flat on his face in was the St. Louis Rams when he was there.
Yeah.
With Jeff Fisher. He was with Jeff Fisher.
He was.
And Jeff Fisher couldn't do anything with Goff either. But he fell flat on his face. He lost his job to Sean Mannion. They don't remember.
Wow.
They don't remember that Nick Foles was a backup in Kansas City. Everyone wants to go back to 27-2 in 2013.
Exactly.
Where Nick Foles lost the playoff game at home to the Saints. So
you just can't replicate 27-2.
And
what we saw in 2014 was
it's more than that. It's more than that. Would
right.
the Eagles have been in position to win the Super Bowl if Carson Wentz didn't start the season 11-2? The answer is no.
Right.
Anyone who thinks that if Nick Foles started every game for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017 and would have led them to a 13-3 record and had home field advantage throughout the playoffs, you're a fool. You're stone wrong. And I like Nick Foles. He's a good quarterback.
He is.
He's
a
not
good
a franchise quarterback. He can't win a game on his own.
He can't. Yeah, and especially that. And he also has a lot of mechanical flaws as well. One of the key flaws that I see with Nick Foles is that he throws off the back foot, which you can't do. You just can't do that.
I mean, you look at the playoffs this year, the guy had 4 good drives in 120 minutes of playoff football. He had 0 good drives in the first half of the Bears game. And shame on the Bears for not being able to bury the Eagles.
Yep.
He came out in the second half of the Bears game and first or second drive threw a touchdown to Goddard, and then obviously did what he did on 4th down to Golden Tate to lead the Eagles to victory. Even then, he needed that bum Cody Parkey to miss a field goal. You go to the Saints game. He's got 2 good drives in that game as well. Boom, boom, 14-0.
14-0.
Right off the bat.
And then
there's blood in the water. A shark killer franchise quarterback does not let his foot off the brake in that spot, and you're off to the races. The Saints played the first 20 minutes of that game dead in the water. If Nick Foles was a franchise quarterback, he would have buried the Saints in that spot.
He would have easily buried the Saints.
And the Eagles would have coasted.
And maybe possibly be the NFC representative in the Super Bowl, but of course,
he's not. But they're not because Nick Foles is not a franchise quarterback.
He's not.
And by no means should he be brought back next year at a $20 million price.
Exactly. And
it's ludicrous.
And especially that you have an important free agency coming up where you need to replace some of your guys, especially at the running back, the offensive line, the defense. You just can't keep Nick Foles around for $25 million. Now, if you put a franchise tag on him and try to trade him, okay, that's fine. But at this moment right now, you just can't give him the $25 million. There's no way that he should be your number one priority in the offseason. As much as I want to keep him around, unfortunately, just the price tag for him.
It's not baseball.
It's not baseball.
You can't just sign guys with funny money like some of these teams do and pay a luxury tax and everything's fine. 4 good drives Nick Foles had.
Yeah.
And then this guy, because you know what's happening right now. Every time Carson Wentz throws an interception next year, incomplete pass.
Oh, we should have kept Foles.
Holds the ball too long. It's going to be a full-on mutiny against Carson Wentz by the Folesian Society.
Yep.
And just pure bonehead hack journalists.
It is.
Like Joe, whatever his name was. What's his name?
Joe Santa LaQuinto, Santa Clarita, Santa Claus. I don't really care. This guy's a total egghead and just trying to stir up some stupid controversy.
I don't understand how you can just attack Carson Wentz.
Exactly. And labeling him
and
as
use
selfish.
anonymous sources.
Exactly, especially
all the beat writers were tweeting today that this guy's never even around the team.
Exactly,
he's not in the locker room with us every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for practices.
Right?
How does he know? Him and his boys, who all hate Wentz apparently based on his previous work, just got together and he just started writing down quotes on people that cash a check from the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe they're who knows who they are.
Right.
They're anonymous. We don't know. Alls I know, Torrey Smith's no longer with the team, defended Wentz. Brandon Brooks defended Wentz. Fletcher Cox defended
Zach
Wentz.
Ertz, Nate
Zach
Sudfeld,
Ertz, Suds.
Camu. Like, a lot of players are coming forward defending Wentz. And just to even make it further.
And then
they're pointing to, like, Malcolm Jenkins and Alshon Jeffrey as the anonymous sources. It's like, all right, now you're just grasping at straws here. Like, you know that this article
they weren't on the list, Frank. They didn't tweet out.
Yeah,
Jason Kelsey also came out defended Wentz.
It's total BS, this article.
But the one thing that I can't stand that is fake news is the number of targets that Zach Ertz gets with Wentz as opposed to Ertz. I think they're both between
identical.
9 and 10.
Yeah.
It's identical stats.
They're like
stop telling me that
apart.
Wentz plays favorites and only throws to Zach Ertz and Nick Foles spreads the ball around when Zach Ertz has the same amount of targets per game no matter who's starting. Don't tell me that. You just sound like a moron. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Because now there's venom.
Yeah.
There's venomous hatred developing for Carson Wentz in this city.
Exactly. And I think this is just
he's set up to fail in this city.
I just don't get what's going on with. I think this is just the last grasp of the Folesian society trying to make their case that we should keep Foles for another year. It's not going to happen. Carson Wentz is going to stay a Philadelphia Eagle. He's going to get his mega deal. And you're trying to grasp at straws.
I don't understand the mob mentality, mutiny attitude towards Carson Wentz.
I don't get it. And especially that we traded the farm back in 2016 to get our franchise guy.
Back to the targets thing. If you want to write an article about how, Carson Wentz kind of presses sometimes, doesn't let the offense come to him, needs to take what the defense gives him as opposed to try and make the big play every time, all that's fair.
Right.
And I agree with that. But he's going to develop that next year in the offseason, and he's going to mature. And, look, if he didn't learn anything sitting on the side watching Nick Foles run this offense, then he's not as smart as I give him credit for.
Right.
He definitely bogus.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't understand the venomous hatred that this fan base is developing for Carson Wentz. It makes no sense.
Just to put it plain and simple, in my opinion, I just think there's a good section of this fan base that's totally ungrateful that we have, for once, a franchise quarterback that could potentially win us a few extra Super Bowls. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll appreciate everything that Nick Foles did in our Super Bowl victory, but it is clear that Carson Wentz is the guy. We've seen what he can do at North Dakota State. We saw what he can do at his rookie season. He can actually play 16 whole games in a season, something that we haven't seen since Donovan. So this guy's going to be our Donovan for the next 10, 11, 12 years, and win us a bunch of hardware. And to see people bash this, it just shows how ungrateful we are.
It's pure ignorance.
It is. It's ignorance. It's ungrateful.
Because I shied away from this debate during the playoffs.
It's cowardice,
and I would be in the chats and I'd say, yo, guys, this is not the time or place to talk about this.
Exactly.
Carson Wentz is hurt. Nick Foles is starting against the Bears. Nick Foles is starting against the Saints. You got to support Nick.
Right.
Now the season's over, and I wake up to this bullshit hack article, and it made me mad. It made me concerned. It made me I don't get the venom and the hate towards Carson.
I don't get it either.
I don't understand the selective memory of the Folesian society. Nick Foles didn't play good against the Saints.
He didn't.
Nick Foles didn't play good against the Bears. Those were this year.
Yeah.
Nick Foles didn't play good against the Falcons this year in the opener.
Yep.
He lost to the Bucs, which I know he threw for 360 some odd yards, but stats don't always tell the whole story.
Exactly.
He did not play good in that game. But nobody wants to remember that.
Right.
And you want to forget that Carson Wentz I get 13 games isn't 16 games.
Right.
But it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz was the undisputed MVP of the entire NFL through 13 games in 2017. Why is that forgotten?
I don't know. It just baffles me.
And this is for the chat and the people out there. We're going to get to your comments just in 1 second after this statement. Do you really think that the Eagles wouldn't have closed the deal and won the Super Bowl in 2017 if Carson Wentz didn't get hurt? Like, do you think the Eagles only won because Foles stepped in and closed it out? That's ludicrous.
Right.
Why do you think that? The Eagles would have coasted the Super Bowl if Carson Wentz never got hurt. They would have beat the Falcons way more than 15-10.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they would definitely.
The Vikings, they were hacks.
Yeah.
If Foles did that to him, imagine what Carson would have done. That would have got. They would have put up
especially
100.
especially against the New England Patriots. I mean, maybe the result would be the same, but he would have done great against the Pats.
They played no defense,
Right.
and they benched their best corner
Right.
before the game because who knows why? He was smoking pot. He was goofing off in practice. Who the hell knows what happened there?
Exactly.
All right, what's going on in the chat?
All right, so over on Facebook, we got Ryan Brodo.
Brodo!
He says the Patriots' victory was very impressive. And then Tom Arnaud
So he thinks the Patriots
had the more impressive victory.
Interesting.
And
I would love
then-
Ryan Brodo to expand on that in the chat if he's still listening, because I don't agree.
All right. And then we got Tom Arnone asking about Brad.
Yeah, Brad's in Costa Rica.
He'll be back.
It's 90 and sunny, he texted me.
And then we got Dion Brown talking about the article. When he saw that article about Wentz, he knew it was bull from the gate. Dude better get his so-called facts right. Then Brian Attard saying, Rob.
Oh, let's think about it. Because Tom posted a video today, which you can see on ATD Radio on Facebook.
Yep.
It's a great video. The editor of Philly Voice, I get that Jake Solaquinto.
Yeah.
Like, he's not obligated to tell me or you his sources.
Exactly.
But he is obligated to tell his editors his sources. I'd be interested to know if the editor of Philly Voice said, yo, got the sources. He knows who said what in terms of that article. And Tom is totally right. If he didn't do that and he doesn't know where this information came from, then it should have been posted.
Right.
It's a nonsense article.
It is.
I don't understand. All right, what's next?
And then Brian Attard saying, Rob, you look cold, bud. Think warm.
Yeah, it's 7 degrees out, Brian.
Yeah.
It's so cold.
I mean,
Thank God this is the only day, because I
Yeah.
looked at it's supposed to be 30s, 40s,
Oh, good.
even 50s later in the week.
Yes.
So,
And then Greg Milakovic.
and it didn't snow.
Greg Milakovic saying, preach, Rob, about the whole article.
Yeah, I mean, it's total.
Snafu.
And, you know, smart fans like the A2D listeners,
Yeah.
the A2D hosts like Greg and you and me, they see right through this.
Exactly.
It's the it's Folesian society venom.
Yep.
Unwarranted venom. How many times have I seen the Eagles lose a game and, you know, starting quarterbacks obligated to give the media time? Carson Wentz, he says all the time, we got to do a better job. Starts with me.
Yep.
I've literally heard him say that 1,000 times since he started being the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't understand where this selfishness comes from. I mean, and the part of the article that said, you know, he bullied Groh and it was Groh's fault that the offense was working, when in fact it was Carson's fault the offense wasn't working.
Right.
Like, dude, Carson's on the field.
Yeah.
Carson's $150, $200 million quarterback.
You give the offense that Carson's familiar with. He doesn't work under RPO, and we've hammered this several times. Like, Carson can't work under RPO.
You know how I feel about the RPO, and you know how I feel about
Right.
Deuce and Groh and the people that coach the offense this year. I wouldn't bring either of them back.
Right. But unfortunately, they're back,
need to-
especially Groh.
Yeah, why? I don't think that's a Schwartz saved his job.
Schwartz
I
saved his
agree.
job,
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
I was
I'm
definitely
not-
surprised when Groh
I don't
stayed.
think it's. Has that been officially announced and I missed it?
I
that
think
he's gonna be
that's
back?
that's what I heard.
Or is that just assumed?
I heard that he was going to be back.
Well, I don't like him. I haven't liked him since about week 9 of last season. I don't understand why you run RPOs with Carson.
Right.
I don't understand why you run read options with Carson.
You can't.
Carson is a pro-style pocket passer that when the stuff hits the fan, Carson can use his legs
To it, and especially figure out the adjustments that he can make.
How many times in 2017 did we see Carson Wentz roll out of the pocket and just, either run for a first down, make a play? He reminds me of Favre.
Right.
He thrives when, you might have to draw something up in the dirt because, it's not working. Or somebody's got to make a play. Not RPOs.
Yeah.
Not nonsense college stuff.
Right.
He was a pro-style quarterback at North Dakota State.
Yeah.
He had an MVP season in a pro-style offense in 2017. Now grows the offensive coordinator, and he wants to run all this college BS that Carson's not his skill set.
A Jeff Fisher-style system that basically didn't work with Jared Goff.
So I'm out on Groh.
I'm not a fan of Groh.
I've been out on Groh for a while now.
Yeah.
So, but to suggest that Carson is a bully and selfish and not a team guy because, there's discussions within the organizations about how to best use the talent and what plays work the best. I mean, that's soft.
Right.
That's weak, Frank. I
It's
can't
a
buy
terrible
that.
argument. It's a terrible argument.
I would rather my quarterback be a little bit of a diva and a little bit of a prick and a little bit of a pain in the ass sometimes than some guy who's just going to be, gee golly, we should have done better there. The guy wants to win.
Yeah.
The guy's won at every level of football he's ever played.
Exactly.
And I'd bet green money right now that Carson Wentz wins a Super Bowl in the NFL as the Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback.
Oh, of course. No doubt about it. He's going to win. He's going to win one under center.
Is that sarcasm?
No.
No?
No.
Sounds like sarcasm.
No, I agree with that. He's going to win one under center in a future Super Bowl. No doubt about it. Now, it all depends on the free agency on what we're going to do, but
Deion Brown, Carson is my quarterback. Thank you, Nick, but it's over now. My thing is this. Do they really have faith in Sudfeld to be the clear number two? Two guys just in case. Yes, I do think Nate Sudfeld can be a backup quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
All I read about is how he's so good in practice. So,
and
if he's not good enough to be the backup, then they've just been lying to me for the 2 years that Nate Sudfeld's been on the team.
And they also
I would use one of my day 3 draft picks on a developmental type quarterback.
Right. And even to look at it, I know a lot of people are bringing up Sudfeld and Foles with their comparisons. A lot of people are saying that Sudfeld is a more mobile version of Foles, which is something that we kind of need.
Yeah, but he does not have the Folesian magic.
He doesn't have the magic,
no one does.
But he can be like a Nick Foles type of guy, just more mobile. That's my observation with Sudfeld. But when it comes to another quarterback, it's gonna be tough. It all depends on the quarterback market,
all right,
where everything's at.
Let me hit YouTube quick.
It's gonna be very interesting.
North Dakota Mama. If these team
comment.
members exist, then they should stop being yellow-bellied cowards and step up and state it on air or to Carson's face that they are not behind his back. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I doubt these anonymous sources are players.
They're probably not.
I just think that, maybe there's a team manager or an intern or something that gave Carson cold coffee once and he was having a bad day.
Exactly.
And was like, yo, dude, what are you doing? This coffee's cold. I need hot coffee. Whoa, this guy's a jerk. He yelled at me. I'm going to go to the newspaper and tell everyone Carson Wentz is a crumb. Well, get him more coffee.
Right.
Like equipment managers. Maybe they laid out the wrong cleats for him once by mistake. And Carson was like, these are not the cleats I need, Holmes. You got to do better. I'm trying to win a game here.
Wait till
no, he's a jerk. I did my job bad, and Carson said I needed to do it better, so he's a crumb. I hate him.
Wait till this anonymous source is revealed to be some guy
Like
who's
an equipment guy,
or
an intern,
or a guy
those
who was
types
on
of
the Eagles
things.
practice squad for a day and had
Yeah.
one bad day and decides to throw
Yeah.
Carson under the bus.
Yeah. I'm a third-string practice squad better,
Yeah.
but Carson should have thrown
I'm a third string punter.
Yeah,
Carson's mean to me.
Carson should have thrown to me more than Ertz, though, during practice.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
North Dakota Mama, how much has Nick Foles learned from sitting on the bench behind Carson the past 2 leagues? Why is this never mentioned? That's an excellent point by North Dakota Mama. But it's harder for Nick Foles to learn from Carson Wentz because so many of Carson Wentz's skills are God-given.
Yep.
Nick Foles just doesn't have them. Carson Wentz has, he's got the arm, he's got legs, he's got the intuition,
Right.
he's got the size and speed. He is a blue chip player.
Yeah.
Carson can learn more from watching Nick because Carson can sit on the bench and see Foles screwing up because he's not gifted physically enough to make some of the plays, and he can kind of chuckle and snicker to himself. If I'm in there and I get that look, I'm getting a touchdown all day. Foles can't do that with Wentz. I hope Wentz learned from Foles in the sense that he needs to learn how to take what the defenses are giving him and not try and score a touchdown every play. Needs to be less stubborn. It's okay if it's 2nd and 6,
Right.
It's okay. Ertz isn't open big down the seam. You dump it off to Goddard or Sproles or whoever's on the team next year, get the 4 yards, and live to fight another day. Carson didn't do that enough in his time as quarterback for the Eagles this year. Nick Foles did, and the offense improved. The secondary also miraculously came together
Exactly.
when Nick Foles took over, which doesn't get talked about enough. Cravon LeBlanc was a great find. Avonte Maddox emerged. Malcolm Jenkins was a stud all year.
Yeah.
Rasul Douglas really stepped up, proved that he can play in this league. And, Sidney Jones blows.
Yeah.
So, not bad. Besides Sidney Jones, everyone did well. So, that doesn't get talked about enough either when it comes to what really turned this season around for the Eagles. Everyone's just quick to anoint Foles as Jesus when he wasn't that good in the playoffs. He was fortunate to win the game against the Bears. But,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Everyone hates Carson because he's not Nick. And everyone thinks that Carson wouldn't have closed the deal in 2017. And the Eagles only won because Wentz got hurt and Foles came in to close it out. That's the only reason they won. It's the only logical explanation, right, Frank?
Yeah, absolutely.
No chance Carson Wentz would close out his MVP season with a Super Bowl.
Right.
It's asinine.
I'll be very curious. I wish Brad was here.
Yeah, as an objective.
Yeah,
but he's told us before that Wentz is a franchise quarterback, and
imagine the time when Phil Simms won a Super Bowl for the Giants.
He brings that up all the time.
Yeah, imagine how that imagine today's fan base with the whole Jeff Hostetler Phil Simms situation. I bet Brad would probably bring up.
But they made that mistake,
right?
And they started Hostetler.
They did
in the next season after he won the Super Bowl when Phil Simms was healthy, and the season went in the toilet.
Right.
If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. Frank.
Exactly.
Foolish Demon. It used to be illegal to not name sources. I 100% think we should get back to that.
Yeah.
Foolish Demon. Quite clear to me the offense stalled out with Nick Foles. How dumb is this boxing writer?
Yeah, he is a boxing writer.
I don't really know much about him, but his article today on Philly Voice was a hack job.
Yeah.
It was unacceptable. Harlem Cowboy wants to know what's going on.
Hi.
It's cold.
Yeah.
If Harlem Cowboy could crank up the heat outside, I greatly appreciate it. Bob Brinkman, article sounds like grasping at straws. People got to realize that Wentz is still young, needs a coordinator to work with him and adapt to him. That's a great point by Bob, because so many of these football blockheads, they try and fit the square peg in the round hole, and it doesn't work. You need to have your overall scheme, but you need to pick plays within that scheme that fit Wentz.
Yep.
Not, we're an RPO team, we're going to run RPOs, and that's that. I don't care what Carson's good at. We're going to do it my way.
Yep.
That's how you lose. That's how you go 6-7 in the first 13 and almost miss out on the playoffs. Wentz win a Super Bowl, can he win a playoff game first? Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. I think Carson Wentz is going to win a Super Bowl in a Philadelphia Eagles as the Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback.
Yeah.
If you don't agree, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, Harlem Cowboy. I mean, Carson Wentz will win a Super Bowl before Dakota Prescott.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. He's a game manager.
Yeah. I mean,
Wentz is
give
not
Dak
a game.
credit.
Wentz
Right.
is not a game manager.
Right.
No, but I mean, the credit for the Cowboys' success, in my opinion, goes to their front office.
Exactly.
Because they traded a first-round pick for Amari Cooper. Me, you, everyone in the chats, everyone on social media laughed in their face.
Yep.
Guess what? They don't win the NFC East without Amari Cooper.
Exactly.
He gave Dak a go-to receiver that he desperately needed.
And of course, the Cowboys had the benefit of Zeke playing again after spending the majority of last season in a will he, won't he be suspended kind of situation.
6 games is a lot.
Yeah. And of course, the O-line still talented as usual. I mean, that's helping Dak a lot, especially when you look at those option plays. I mean, that whole playbook of option plays definitely helps Dak a lot.
Bob Brinkman, sounds like they got quotes from the guy who was taking out the trash. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with these sources.
Yeah.
North Dakota Mama, the O-line also got healthy, which helped Foles.
That is true.
That's very true. Brodo brought up Wisniewski as an X factor after the Rams game when he sat in for Brad. I kind of laughed at him and dismissed it, but I mean, he started playing and they started blocking better. So, is what it is. Proof's in the pudding, as they say. Foolish Demon. Wentz hasn't won a playoff game, therefore can never win a Super Bowl. Brilliant logic. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, to think he wouldn't have won a playoff game in 2017 is really pretty. He would have won. Pretty hilarious. They would have.
Yeah.
They would have definitely beat the Falcons. They would have definitely beat the Vikings. I mean, I don't want to say that they definitely, because maybe Malcolm Butler doesn't get benched if Wentz is in there. I don't know. It's tough to shoot back, but they're definitely representing the NFC in the Super Bowl in 2017.
Yeah.
If Wentz didn't tear his ACL. Dion Cartha, I read that. Danny Banich, Pats win by 14. I don't know about that. The Rams open as 1-point favorites.
Wow.
Let me check it. Hold on.
1-point favorites? Oh, man. That's
so, like, in essence, a pick 'em.
Pretty much. I mean, it's still we're still 2 weeks away from the big game.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots have jumped to a 2.5-point favorite. But my guess would be that's all public money.
Yeah.
And I've a public stupid, so I'd fade. I'm rooting for Brady because I like greatness, but I have a feeling the Rams are going to win this game.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I picked against Brady both weeks, and it hasn't worked out for me. But
the Rams begin.
I'm gonna make my official prediction next week. My early lean is on the Rams.
I mean, basically, this whole storyline is like the Rams started this whole Patriots dynasty. Can they actually put it to rest now? That's basically my storyline for Super Bowl 53.
There's a lot of storylines.
It's a lot of storylines.
You know, it's the reigning tag team champions and Brady and Belichick against the hot shots in Goff and McVay.
Yeah.
Be very interesting. Are the Patriots going to be able to piece together another brilliant defensive game plan against a pretty talented offense.
Yeah, that's that offense. That's my biggest wild card going into this game is like, can that offense replicate what we have seen against the Saints and against the Cowboys?
Is C.J. Anderson
right
going to be able to give them that 1-2 punch? I think Gurley with another 2 weeks off. I mean,
yeah, he'll be
he's
back
going to
full
be
swing.
fine.
That's going to be another dangerous weapon.
But the Patriots, they have who's going to run the ball more?
Right. Is it going to be Rex Burkhead? Is it going to be James White?
It's going to be a combination of
Yeah.
all of them.
It'll be interesting. I mean, is the Rams defense going to do it again? Is Aaron Donald going to have an amazing performance? The Ndamukong Suh. Marcus Peters is playing that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Talib, good.
Peters.
Good.
I mean, is that
on
Rams
paper
defense
the
gonna
Rams are a more talented
Oh,
team?
yeah.
But the Patriots have Tom Brady.
be Belichick? And
Yeah.
what other crazy
Brady-
factors that favor the Pats in some way?
Yeah, but Brady is more essential to the Patriots' success over the last
right.
15
years.
15 years than Belichick. Bill Belichick's a 500 coach without Tom Brady as a starting
Oh,
quarterback.
yeah.
Players make coaches and schemes look smart and good,
And that's what
not
Brady
the
has
other
done.
way around. In professional sports. In college sports, I think it's reversed. But professional sports,
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Hands
care
down.
how good a coach you are. You don't have the talent on the field,
Right.
you're not winning nothing. So early lean is on the Rams. I'll make my official prediction next week.
I'm still on the ropes about
Early
it.
lean is definitely on the Rams.
I just got to do my
That's
research
a
a
big
little bit
win
more.
for Goff.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge win for Jared Goff. He's going to be playing with. He should be playing with a ton of confidence.
Yeah.
So early leans on the Rams. I get to a few more comments here before the great. My Harlem Cowboys would finally have a new offensive coordinator. Watch out.
Kellen
Scott,
Moore.
Scott Linehan is out, which is a good move. I don't really know anything about Kellen Moore. Remember, he was a left-handed quarterback at Boise State.
Yep, and he backed up Dak and Tony as well.
Yes, and he was a former player for the Cowboys. So
Right.
we'll see how that works out. Scott Linehan did not impress me. So he's got that going for him. He's not Scott Linehan. So, I mean, we'll see. Foolish Demon. Dak is limited to dump-offs and wide-open passes. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the Super
That's
Bowl,
agreed.
Bob Brinkman. The Super Bowl is the clipboard versus the iPad. That's so true.
Yep.
Old school versus new school. Harlem Cowboy, you guys keep saying the same thing about Dak, and Philly fans say Wentz needs a running back. Stop it.
Well, we do.
What did
need
I say about the running game?
The running.
We just said Zeke is good.
Yeah. And we do need a running back.
Yeah. They need 2 running backs.
Right.
Maybe 3. I don't understand.
I
I mean,
don't-
we
I
did.
don't
I
get
mean,
it.
I don't think I openly praised the Dallas Cowboys, but came pretty damn close, giving them a lot of credit for trading a first-round pick for
Exactly.
Amari Cooper and getting themselves in the playoffs.
All right, Cowboy.
Fool Steven. Oh my, you mean I made a point that I see when I watch a guy play? Harley, Dak is getting better and better. Wentz just gets hurt. Dak is getting better, but Wentz, so little Eagles, Cowboys.
Little
banter in the
trash talk.
YouTube chat.
Which we like. We like
Love
in the
it.
chat.
Love
Yeah.
it. It's civilized, Frank.
Yeah.
At least this one is. This
Yeah.
exchange.
Well, I mean, nobody's calling each other cracker or anything in the chat, but oh well.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crackergate.
Crackergate.
Tatergate, whatever it's called.
Crackergate.
See, this is why stuff like that nonsense over the
Yeah.
weekend. That's why all I care about is doing the best 2-hour sports show
Exactly.
I can on Monday night.
Exactly. I mean, we're all here to do our shows, and I mean, we have shows throughout the week, and witnessing everything that unraveled. To
Join
a
up,
huge
join up
Facebook-
A2D. You
Yeah.
know what I can guarantee you? is that none of that stuff would ever happen with any of the hosts that do our 10 shows.
Right.
Or any of the people that are behind the scenes that do our sales and social media, and Chris, who does a great job with the SEO stuff and posting the stuff. That stuff would never happen here.
Oh, yeah.
So get out of the best damn groups or whatever group you're in and get in the A2D group. We're a family. We're a family. We're respectful.
Yeah.
And we know our sports. We're the best in the biz, no notes. I want to talk about the Sixers. I want to talk about baseball. I want to talk about the Eagles offseason a little bit in the second hour. Sports Hounds will be back on A2D Radio right after this.
Let's get this music going, and here we go. There we go.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome back, Sports Hounds, A2D Radio, live in the Real Talk Studios. Mount E from New Jersey. We got the Sixers in action right now, Frank. We got the football. We got the Carson Wentz story on the table. As always, brought to you by Gibson Mara LLC, certified accountants. Visit GibsonMaraLLC.com for more information. Scanzano Sports poll question of the day still on the table. Which road dog was more impressive yesterday, the Rams or the Patriots? But we got the Sixers going on right now. They are 59-42. Looks like they're going to put up about 70 points on the Rockets in the first half.
There we go.
And yeah, I'm looking at the box score here, Frank. And my God, do the Rockets stink? James Harden has 19. Fareed has 7. Eric Gordon 8. They have no guys without Chris Paul. Marquise Chris, former 4th overall pick in the draft, hasn't entered the game yet. And you look at the Sixers. You know, you got Joe with 20, Redick with 13, Corey Brewer, who started in place of an injured Jimmy Butler, has 4, 6 from Shamet, 6 from McConnell, 7. So I guess that's balanced, huh?
Yeah, for once.
But the Sixers are boring.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because you can look at the caliber of opponent that they're playing on a given night and know if they're going to win or lose. You don't even have to watch the games. Saturday, 3:30, big spot, afternoon not a prime time, but afternoon national TV game. They're playing the Thunder. It's a stone loss. They're not as good as the Thunder. You can't have T.J. McConnell and Shamet out there trying to cover Dennis Schroeder and Terrence Ferguson, both of who can play and are well-rounded players. You know, it's just not going to work. This team needs a perimeter defender. Then you're playing a have-not, which the Rockets were a have last year. This year they're a have-not. And, you know, they're up big. It's not surprising. Like, they're going to be playing the Nuggets coming up. They're going to be playing, you know, I think Portland and L.A. and Golden State are upcoming. So we'll see. I need to see this team start winning games there against equal or better teams. How are you going to beat the Raptors or Boston if you can't beat a team with a winning record throughout the whole season?
And if you take a look.
If you don't have the horses to get it done right now,
right,
then Elton Brand needs to get on the phone and get some guys in here.
I mean, looking at this bench, the bench I've seen is probably the biggest weakness of this team so far.
The biggest weakness of the team is perimeter defense.
Yeah. I mean, defense and the bench. And
I'm very surprised they're up like this in a game where Jimmy Butler, their best perimeter defender, is not playing.
Yeah. Now, there was like some rumors around where like people were asking, it's like, oh, are we going to get Melo? We're not getting Melo.
I'm not vehemently opposed to getting
I'm
Melo.
not in favor of it, but from what I've heard about Melo is that he wants to start, and that's going to be the problem. Is like, is there a spot for him to start at?
There is at power forward, but Melo's not a power forward.
Right. You can't put him at power forward.
And he can't defend the perimeter. So Melo would have to be on board with, you know,
as a sixth man
being
or
a role
off the
guy
bench. Yeah.
Off the bench, a scorer off the bench. Because I wouldn't start him over Muscala or Wilson Chandler, especially when I don't know what he's been doing. I mean, is he in shape? I don't know what's going on with him.
Right.
In his hiatus, because he got cut pretty early in the season by the Rockets.
Yeah. And I completely forgot he was still on the team when they announced they traded him to Chicago.
Bulls, and the Bulls are going to release him, according to Woj.
Yeah.
So then he'll be free to sign with anybody. Interesting.
Yeah. Now, one of the teams that people are bringing up to acquire Melo is the Lakers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense.
No, because he's boys with LeBron. They go on vacations together and whatnot. James Harden
it's the banana boat
slashes down the lane for a big slam. That's what I'm talking about, perimeter defense. I understand James Harden is a premier scorer of the basketball in this league, but it can't be that easy as the stream goes away.
Of course.
Thanks
to you.
That's all right. That's all right. Don't worry about it. I'll have it, but it can't be that easy to score.
Right.
And, you can't play McConnell and Shamet big minutes against a team like Boston, Toronto, Oklahoma City, the Warriors. You can get away with it against the Rockets, which the lead's already smaller than when we first tuned in, fresh out the break.
Oh, yeah.
They can't hold leads. So, to me, the Sixers are very boring. Maybe that's me being spoiled because they're one of the halves in the NBA. And they have 3 max players and have a lot of talent. Maybe I'm just incapable of getting excited for the Sixers until playoff time. That's totally possible. But I think it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to win their first playoff series like they did last year. And then, they're going to have to play the Pacers, the Bucks, the Raptors, or the Celtics in the next round. And I have serious questions whether they can win a 7-game series against one of those teams right now, unless they get a perimeter defender. A lot of people say big men. They need someone to play next to Joe. I agree, because I don't like Muscala or Wilson Chandler starting. I like Chandler starting better than Muscala, but Wilson Chandler's older, and I think Muscala's kind of soft on the defensive end and rebounding. They've been linked to Noah Vonleh, who plays for the Knicks right now.
Okay.
That'd be something I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
He's a role player.
Yeah.
He'll stay out of Joe's way. He won't cause trouble. That'd be a decent sign. But you can get a perimeter defender in here. I'm sorry, but I was at a wedding on Saturday, so I only watched the first half of the Sixers game live. I caught highlights of Russell Westbrook being a punk and his altercation with JoJo. I saw all that later. But, I'm watching the first half, and I'm seeing Shamet and McConnell out there, and I see Schroeder and Terrence Ferguson. I mean, they're just blowing right by them. You can't have that against a premier team. And that's what Terry Rozier and that's what Kyrie Irving did on Christmas. That's what Kyle Lowry's going to do against them. Bledsoe and Brogdon, they're not capable of covering players like that. Collison and Oladipo on the Pacers, it's not good. It's not a good look having McConnell and Shamet out there guarding those guys. Now, I love Shamet and what he brings you as a shooter off the bench. Really like him. But falls short defensively. You got to get him on a weight program in the offseason. You got to put on weight.
Yeah.
And TJ is just not – he's in the NBA because, yes, he's gifted as an athlete to an extent. But, he's more of a grit and determination Philadelphia Rocky Balboa underdog story than he is a quality basketball player. And I know that a lot of people love T.J. McConnell, and I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but that's what I see. This team will not get to where it wants to go with T.J. McConnell playing crucial roles against good teams like the Thunder, the Raptors, the Celtics, the Warriors. They're playing Portland and the Nuggets soon. I think they have a home and home with the Nuggets soon. That'll be an interesting little. They're on a tough stretch right now.
They are in a tough stretch. Let me take a look at their schedule real quick. Let's see. They got the Nuggets on the road on the 26th, and they got the Nuggets again on February 8th.
So it's a home and home.
It's a home and home.
Interesting. It's a lot of travel. But, and I was scouring the internet today for guys that would fit. And, I'm not seeing much unless I'm looking for something. Because, Bradley Beal would obviously help this team. He'd be great. But
it depends on the cost.
They're going to charge an arm and a leg for him.
Right. But it all depends on which arm and which leg you want to give away.
I'd be much more interested in poaching Otto Porter Jr. away from that team than I would be Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
I think the Sixers have enough shooting.
They do.
Now, it's the NBA, and it's a 3-and-D league, and the Warriors have kind of made that the thing, the new fad in the NBA. But I think Shamet, Redick, Jimmy can shoot a little bit. Joe can shoot the three. Muscala and Chandler are capable of making threes. I think they have enough shooting. They need defense. Otto Porter's a good defender. Kent Bazemore in Atlanta is a good defender.
That's a good name. People are tossing around Bazemore.
He's hurt right now, and there's no timetable for his return, so you got to kick the tires on that a little bit. But that's something I would investigate.
And
I just don't see how Melo helps you.
And we do have the salary to keep Otto Porter around. He's still on a 3-year contract, $26
I don't want to hear about money. I don't want to hear about draft picks.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
I hear you.
I don't want to hear it. You had to take on bad contracts for 3-4 years just to reach the salary minimum requirements in terms of the luxury tax and whatnot.
Right.
So I don't want to hear it. You got a chance to go do something, and it's going to cost you a little bit in luxury tax, and you turn your nose up, I'm out. I'll freak out. I'll have a stroke. Because like I said last week, I'm trying to pick my battles with these 4 teams. I can't pick every battle, Carson Wentz, that bogus article that just shredded him.
Yep.
That's a battle I'm going to pick. If the Sixers turn their nose up at adding a key piece at the deadline because of money, or they're not willing to part with draft picks, or some bogus nonsense like that, then that's a battle I would pick. If the Phillies don't get Bryce Harper or Manny Machado,
woo,
that is a battle I'm going to pick.
Exactly.
What's it, day like 70, nearing day 80 of free agency, and these guys still aren't signed?
Right.
I'm starting to get nervous, Frank. I really am.
You are?
I'm starting to get scared, yes. Because I feel that there's mystery teams out there that no one's talking about, that only Scott Boras is talking to,
right,
and or whoever represents Manny Machado.
Well, I read one thing about you brought up Manny Machado. John Heyman saying there are no legs to the Pirates rumors today. They are not trading Sterling.
Pirate. This is what I'm talking about.
But
mystery team.
It's not the mystery team that they're talking about. There are no legs to the Pirates rumors today. They are not trading Starling Marte to the Dodgers, and they are not the mystery team for Manny Machado.
So it's not the Pirates.
So it's not the Pirates or the Dodgers. So that was the one team I was worried about in the Manny chase.
The
Dodgers,
two teams that I'm worried about jumping in for Manny Machado are the Mets and the Cardinals.
Ooh.
This Brady Van Wiegen guy for the Mets, fantastic for the sport. He's loud. He's boisterous. He's great for the city of New York. He's great for the Major League. He's great for the rivalries within the NL East. I really like this guy, and I think he's had a fantastic offseason. So, and I don't think money, I don't know what their payroll is. I know they've been active this offseason, but I don't think he would let a luxury tax shy him away from a big-time free agent. And the Cardinals, they're in win-now mode. They've spent a lot of money.
And they did get Paul Goldschmidt. Yeah.
They have Goldschmidt. He's making $12 million this year. That's not breaking the bank. Ozuna's not breaking the bank. They're paying Fowler. They have all these young guys who aren't really making that much money. They have some older pitchers that I think are still on the books for some money.
Right.
And
they're still deferred salaries.
And I don't like despite adding Goldschmidt and Andrew Miller, I'm not crazy about their team.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win the Central as constructed.
Yeah, I think they're at least one more
If
piece
they
away.
get Manny Machado to play third, which isn't a position that's shored up for them, I think that that's something that they should investigate. So I'm worried about the Mets, and I'm worried about the Mets and the Cardinals, when it comes to Machado as mystery teams. Now, I think there's mystery teams when it comes to Bryce Harper as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything regarding Bryce Harper and mystery teams.
But if there's no mystery teams, then why isn't he a Philly?
Right. Unless if Bryce is waiting for Manny to strike or the other way around.
That's possible as well.
That's probably the one thing.
But Bryce is going to get more money than Manny.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty much universally agreed upon in the baseball world. So I don't know. I mean, I thought that I thought that one of these guys was going to sign with the Phillies at the winter meetings.
Yeah.
So clearly, I'm
I
out of touch.
I thought they were going to get the job done last week when Harper visited, or when the Phillies visited Harper in Las Vegas. I thought they were going to get it done by then.
I don't see mystery. I mean, I know the White Sox really want to make a splash.
Right.
And now the Dodgers are trying to sign Pollock. I mean, they're not going to sign Pollock and Harper.
Yeah.
Pollock is a good player. He's going to cost you some cheddar. So I'm not sure what the Dodgers are doing out there. Now they're shopping Jock Peterson. They dumped all that money to the Reds.
And they traded Yasiel Puig, which clears up their cap a lot.
Right. I like what the Reds are doing.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati, I think they're going to win the Central.
They
get Sonny Gray. They get Sonny Gray today. They got Alex Wood.
Yeah.
Good lefty. You got Puig, Kemp. Jesse Winker is a young player I really like. Eugenio Suarez is a young player I really like. Jose Perez is a young player I really like.
Scooter Gennett.
And Scooter Gennett had a career. We'll see. Well, we'll see if Scooter can do that again. He had an unbelievable season last year.
Out of nowhere, Scooter.
And Joey Votto is probably going to go to Cooperstown.
Yep.
One day. They're going to announce that tomorrow, the 2019 class for
that's
Cooperstown.
That's going to be very interesting on who's going in.
That's another battle I'm going to pick. Because if Roy Halladay is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, I'm going to lose my shit, Frank. He won a Cy Young in both leagues. He threw a no-hitter in the playoffs.
Yep.
And has also thrown a perfect game. Just sheer dominance. And Mariano Rivera should get in as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Rivera is a definite lock going into the Hall of Fame. Now it's just who else is going to go with him? I know a lot of people are very strung up with a lot of these PED era guys that are on the ballot.
Right. My thing with that is, Frank, if you've never served a suspension for PED use, you get my vote. So Bonds, Clemens are in. A-Rod is out.
Yeah.
Manny Ramirez would be out.
That would be.
I'm not voting for.
No.
I'm not voting for Edgar Martinez because he's a DH.
I know what your stance on the DH.
It's stupid.
In the Hall of Fame.
It's stupid.
And I know you like Mike Messina as well.
Yes, Mike Messina should get in. Yes. If Jack Morris is in the Hall of Fame and Harold Baines is in the Hall of Fame, and Mike Messina should 100% be in the Hall of Fame. So that would be my 5. Halladay, Rivera, Bonds, Clemens, Messina.
Right.
That'd be my 5.
Let me see. I gotta find the ballot. Here we go. All right, so my ballot, I'm gonna go Mike Messina. No, not Mike Messina. Excuse me. Mariano Rivera. Let's see. Yeah, Mike Messina, Roy Halladay.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling you're out on the steroid guys.
I'm out on the steroid.
You're
guys.
out on that. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, as much as I want to put them in, it's going to take a while for me to allow them in.
Like Schilling is not a Hall of Famer.
Schilling's not a Hall of Famer.
Sorry. He's just not.
Yeah, I'm out on Schilling. Let me see. Let me take a look at the Larry. Oh, man. Let's go with.
I think I'm being generous with 5.
Yeah.
If you take the steroid guys out, because the steroid guys probably won't get in.
Another name I would
Then
like
I
to
would
put in
have
is
3.
Fred McGriff. I got to put the crime dog in there.
Why? Fred McGriff?
The crime
Hall
dog.
of Famer?
The crime dog.
I mean, great nickname.
Yeah. I know. I think he's like on his 9th year of his ballot. No, his 10th year on the
Fred
ballot.
McGriff is in the
Edgar
Hall of Very
Martinez.
Good. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Bringing up his stats right now on my favorite website, baseballreference.com. Played 19 games. I'm a big 162 hour, 284, 377 OBP. I mean, 102 RBI with 32 home runs. I mean, I don't know. 1995 World Series, 5-time All-Star.
And I think Martinez is going to get it too.
He
I
was
think
an
he's getting
all-star.
closer to it, and I think this would be the year for him to slide into the Hall.
493 home runs. That's a lot of home runs
Yeah.
for Fred McGriff. You might have something with Fred McGriff.
Yeah.
On base over 350. 72 steals. It's kind of all right, I'll bite. I'll bite on the crime dog.
On
If
the
he
crime
gets
dog?
it, he's still not. He's not one of my 5.
Right.
My 5 are Clemens,
he's
Bonds,
there. He's there though.
Busina,
Yeah, I agree with Mussina, Rivera,
Rivera,
Halladay.
and Doc. I'm not, but if he gets him, like whatever.
Yeah.
Harold Baines is in.
If Harold
so-
Baines is in, anyone can get
yeah,
in.
I mean this guy's Babe. Fred McGriff is Babe.
And
Ruth
then wait till
compared
like the
to
year
him.
later, Will Clark slides in. Like everybody keeps talking about him. It's like, oh, we need to add Will Clark into the Hall of Fame.
See, because we live in a
Right.
society, Frank, where everyone has to be included.
Right.
Like, no, there's got to be a line somewhere. You know?
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Sixers up 65-50 on the Houston Rockets at halftime. Very impressed that they were able to put 65 points on the board without Jimmy Butler. Joel Embiid leading the way. 24.7 rebounds. Redick 1 for 3 from 3. 13 points for him. Ben Simmons only has 3 points with 5 assists.
He's going to get that double-double.
7 points for Chandler, 6 points for Corey Brewer. I mean, maybe Corey Brewer can be the perimeter defender they need, and they can trade for a power forward.
He's still got some juice left in him.
Elton Brand
I
has
like
to
that.
add at
I
this
like
trade
that.
deadline.
That's
it's
basically
imperative
it.
because they're not as good as the Raptors
Right.
or the Celtics
And,
right now.
and there's no way
I think
that
I think they're more. No, because you can't. They
y-
can't beat the as constructed.
They can't
They
beat
can beat any
Toronto.
team in the East
Except
besides
for-
Toronto and Boston.
And maybe Milwaukee.
No, they would beat Milwaukee.
They would beat Milwaukee?
in a 7-game series. Yes.
Okay.
No, because
Yeah,
I
depending on peak
understand.
Giannis.
No, but Frank, see, this is what people are missing when measuring the Sixers up to the other teams in the East. It's one thing to pile up regular season wins because you're 8, 9, 10 deep like the Raptors,
Right.
as opposed to winning a playoff series that's only 7 games where the more talented team is going to reign supreme. Like, being the Sixers with Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid, with, Redick pitching in and Shamet pitching in and McConnell and the other guys, it's very tough to do. It's a lot of start power and individual talent to overcome and win 4 out of 7 times, especially when 4 of the 7 games could potentially be in Philadelphia, because as bored and as I don't want to say they're flawed because that's not the right word. That means that they're inept and have no chance of beating the Raptors or the Celtics in a 7-game series. I don't think that. They could. I don't think they would. I wouldn't bet on it. But if they get a perimeter defender and didn't have to leave T.J. McConnell out there on a Jaylen Brown, a Kyrie Irving, a caliber of player like that, same goes for Shamet, I think they dust the Raptors or the Celtics in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Like 5 games maybe against the Celtics.
That'd be nice.
Maybe 6 or 7 against the Raptors because the Raptors went out and got Kawhi Leonard, who's a top 5 player in the league, and got rid of DeMar DeRozan, who's a star. He's an okay player. But, I mean, you give a team like the Raptors, who were the 1 seed last year in the playoffs, you give them Leonard and Lowry, that's a lot of star power to overcome 4 out of 7 games. You need a perimeter defender if you're the Sixers. I don't know where it's going to come from, but it's up to Elton Brand, Brett Brown, whoever's running the show here to get it done. You have to reach the Eastern Conference Finals.
You do.
For me, to consider this basketball season a success, especially after getting Jimmy Butler for pennies on the dollar, at least in my opinion. I know there's Rocco people and Dario people out there that don't agree with me.
And I know the Dario people are going to be out in full force because I know a lot of people miss the Hobie.
Dario Saric and Rocco and a second-round pick for a top 15 player? Like, are you kidding me? You do that all the time. And people tell me, oh, they don't have any more depth. See that? Yeah, it's easier to find depth than it is to find a third superstar to go with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. That's just a fact. Maybe they can trade for Noah Vonleh. Maybe they can poach some of these stars off the Wizards. Corey Brewer is intriguing. But I don't know. I'm bored with the Sixers. I feel like I know what's going to happen in the Sixers games before they even start. And I'm maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot because I didn't see him scoring 65 points in the first half against the Rockets without Jimmy Butler. That's a lot of points. They're on pace for 130 points without arguably their best player. So that's impressive. Now, the Sixers are prone to blowing leads, especially in the second half. We'll see if they can hold on. But if you were to power rank the NBA right now, like the NBA is a league of haves and have-nots. And the Sixers are a have for the first time in a while. They're one of the 6 to 8 teams that can legitimately say, we can win an NBA title right now. And we still have room to grow because our best players are, 24 for Embiid and 21 for Ben Simmons. Butler's 29. Hopefully you get one more contract out of him. And, you have Redick. Like, they're a good team. They're one of the top 6 to 8 teams in the league. And Ben Simmons was horrendous from the foul line on Saturday. If he shoots better from the foul line, the Sixers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we're having a different conversation about the Sixers tonight. Ben Simmons has to learn how to shoot foul shots. I don't care if he becomes a mid-range shooter or even a three-point shooter. But when you penetrate and get to the line, you got to make your shots.
Yep.
It's unacceptable that he's this bad at foul shots. It looks like he's just chucking. Like, there's no rhythm to it. There's no routine or rhythm to what he's doing on the foul line. You get a coach in here that can help him out. He's got to learn how to be a 70, 75% foul shooter.
Because I know 57 ain't going to cut it.
No. Is that what he is right now? He's that low?
I don't even know. It's near the 50s. Let me see.
It's so bad.
Right now.
Second half has started down at the Wells Fargo Center. We'll keep you updated on the game as we progress through the show here. Taking you to 10 o'clock. Sports Hounds on A2D Radio.
Yeah, 57.
57% from the line. We're brought to you, as always, by Gibson Mayer LLC, certified accountants, GibsonMayerLLC.com. Talk about some college hoops now. I've taken on a new writing project for the A2D Forum, Brakeman Bracketology. Second one was published today. You can find it on A2D.com, Facebook, on the A2D Radio Forum. I'm proud of it.
I like it. I actually read it.
Break down the four teams. So I write about 16 teams each week.
All right.
You got your Final Four, which is the cream of the crop, the four best teams in the country. You got the Elite Eight. Those are the teams that they're pretty good. They're in the top 8 in the country, but they're not as good as the Final Four guys. Then you got the Cinderellas, which I try and write about unranked teams.
Okay.
Try and write about unranked teams. Every once in a while I'll be scrambling and I'll have to put in a ranked team. But there was 4 unranked teams this week. So those are teams that, they're going to be lower seeds in the tournament, if they even make the tournament, that I think can make a run. And then we got the Bracket Busters, who are, the high-profile names that, I don't trust them.
Yeah.
I think they're susceptible to upsets from higher seeds. So check it out, a2dradio.com.
Yep, checking it out right now. And I pretty much agree with what you posted here.
Yeah, I mean, Duke's the best team.
Obviously. You can't go wrong with
They lost to
squad.
Wilson's. They lost to Wilson's Orange men, whatever they're called.
The Orange.
Yeah. I can't overreact to one loss like that and take them out of the Final Four. Zion Williamson is something else, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's so
generational
good.
talent right there.
He's so good. And they have 2 other freshmen on Duke.
Cam Reddish and Barrett. And then Trey Jones coming out of nowhere, too. So they got a
but
Fab Four right
Zion is the best player on Duke. He's a cut above those players. They're the best team in the country. It's their tournament to lose. I think the team they beat Saturday, Virginia, is the second best team.
Yeah.
They have Kyle Guy this year who can really stretch the floor. DeAndre Hunter, Philly guy, 2-way player, great coach. They're really good. Michigan just lost their first game at Wisconsin on Saturday. They're really good. They're not your typical slop-it-up Big Ten team at all. They can really run it up on you. They got big men. They got guards. They got shooters. They got everything. And they seem to have been playing with a chip on their shoulder after getting blown out in the national championship game last year by Villanova. Virginia the same way. As you remember last year, they were the first team
to fall to a 16
to
seed.
lose to a 16 seed. That's correct.
Jeez.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So I think
especially
Tony Bennett's a really good coach. You got to use that as motivation.
Man, to be a program like Virginia and have basically 2 of the worst losses in college basketball history for Division I basketball. In like 83, you lose to Division II Chaminade when you're the number 1 team in the country. And then going into the NCAA tournament last year, you lose to 16 seed UMBC.
Who is my fourth Final Four team?
Your 4th, Tennessee.
Tennessee, yes. The number 1 team in the country right now. I don't necessarily agree with that. I get Syracuse as a bad loss. But, Tennessee they're in my top 4. I don't think they're better than Duke. I think they have the possibility to give Duke problems.
They do, but I'm not fully sold on them.
They're big and strong and athletic, is Tennessee. So they have the forwards to potentially match the Zion, R.J. Barrett combo that Duke has down low. But Virginia almost beat Duke on Saturday.
Yeah, they did.
So I guess they match up with them as well.
I mean, that'll be an interesting matchup if it occurs in the tourney. A Duke-Tennessee matchup That will be fun to watch.
And then we got the next group. We got, let's see if I can remember who I wrote about. North Carolina and Virginia Tech. They're actually playing right now. The game's probably over. Let me see who won. Because Virginia Tech got blasted last week by Virginia. They lost by 22 points. It just looked bad.
Yeah.
And they got blasted again by North Carolina tonight, 103-82. So Virginia Tech's going to be off bracketology next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not.
So we'll
I'm
have to
not
find.
sold on
We'll have to
Tech
find a
either.
new team.
Yeah.
I really like them, but I mean, their lone loss for a while was at Penn State, which I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
That's
not
a bad
loss.
loss.
Yeah.
But clearly, North Carolina is a legitimate contender. I mean, putting up 100 in a college game, that's pretty good. So Virginia Tech will be off bracketology next week. And, you know, I struggle believing in teams like Gonzaga and Nevada because they go months at a time without being tested.
Right.
I think that hurts them.
Especially in the conference play.
Bracket tournament.
Now, I know you mentioned in your article San Francisco.
Yes, that's correct.
Being a team that could definitely mess with
They played
Gonzaga.
last week. Gonzaga ended up winning the game by 15 points or so, but the game was closer than
many people would
expect. The score indicated. And, you know, San Francisco, they beat Cal, they beat Stanford, some high pro. I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch because it's a hollow 16-3 because they don't really play anybody.
Right.
But all the teams on the bubble are going to be rooting for Gonzaga to win that conference tournament.
Oh, yeah.
So a team like San Francisco doesn't steal a bid from the bubble.
I think they could. I think
they
it's
could
too
steal. It's a potential bid stealer come conference tournament.
I mean, you saw this in the past several years when
like
St. Mary's was your perennial bid stealer.
Right.
They would always lose to Gonzaga somewhere in the West Coast tourney, and then somehow, some way, St. Mary's gets one of those bids. I think San Fran could get a chance to slide in, maybe as a 12 seed, 12, 13 seed. All depends on
if they win
stretch.
their conference tournament.
Yeah,
because they have no.
Or make some crazy.
I mean, Zag is going to make it regardless. I mean, they beat Duke.
Yeah. I mean, the only way I could see them lock
Tennessee is also the only team to beat Gonzaga.
Yeah.
So that's one of the other reasons that Tennessee is in the Final Four portion.
Yeah, the only way I could see San Fran make it to the tourney is if they upset Gonzaga.
A team I love in the Cinderella portion of my article is Murray State.
Oh, yeah.
Murray State can play. John Morant, baby.
Yeah.
John Morant is a player. Get on board with John Morant. Murray State to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, they could be that potential Sweet 16.
I mean,
it depends on where they're at in the bracket.
He's averaging 24 and 10.
I could buy into.
He had
Murray.
40 and 12 assists, I think he had on Saturday against Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. I mean, those are powerhouse numbers.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And especially that those numbers come from a guy who plays in the Ohio Valley Conference, so that's definitely really surprising there.
He's going to be a first-round pick in the NBA. He's
a
lottery pick.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Like, out of nowhere, Murray State has a chance to have a top 10 pick out of John Morant.
And then we had David's. I mean, it's the Ohio Valley. They shouldn't lose. They should. I think they have 2 losses.
Yeah.
They have 2 losses.
Against Alabama and
they lost
Auburn.
To Bama and Auburn, the southern schools.
Yeah, and the rest of the way, it's kind of smooth sailing.
Auburn, they stink. I mean, they're in my bracket buster portion of it, along with Mississippi State, Ohio State, and Indiana, which broke my heart to put them there because I really like Romeo Langford.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they were outclassed by Purdue on Saturday. They lost by 15 points. Indiana still ranked somehow, which I don't get.
Aren't they like 25 or something?
Purdue's not ranked. Maryland's ranked 13th. They get smoked by Michigan State tonight. Purdue beat Maryland. So, and Purdue has an All-American point guard in Carson Edwards. He'll be a pro. So, everyone's sleeping on Purdue there. That's a team that can definitely make some noise. They're
Absolutely.
They're scrappy. Edwards can take it over. Matt Painter's a great coach. Purdue's a team that I really like for now. Now, this is all subject to change. This is like Carson's back. It evolved over time, as Doug Peterson said. Brinkman bracketology also evolves over time.
Now, there was one team I know nobody talks about, but there's number 16, Buffalo.
Buffalo is
good. How do you feel about Buffalo?
I like Buffalo. They're really, really good. Let me bring up their team page.
Of all the teams that would make some strange run, I would not expect Buffalo to be the team.
No, but they're up to 14th in the new poll, and I feel like that's they're two on the radar in terms of the AP and coaches poll for me to put them in the Cinderella section.
Yeah.
And I don't see myself putting Buffalo in the Elite 8 or Final Four category.
Right.
So Buffalo is a team I like, but won't necessarily be writing about too much.
Like, could they be the team that makes a run?
Absolutely. Ole Miss was under the radar for a while too.
Yeah.
Now the SEC kind of stinks, as you can probably tell from the teams that I don't like at the bottom of the article. But Ole Miss can play. They have guards that are athletic and can score it. They're outstanding against the spread for those interested in that sort of stuff. Past Tennessee, I believe in Ole Miss out of the SEC the most.
Okay.
But they're ranked something like 17th now. I got Buffalo's homepage here. Buffalo beats Syracuse. That's a good win. And they beat West Virginia, which is also a good win.
Yeah. And their only loss coming to Marquette as well, which
Marquette is good as well. Marcus Howard can really score. Getting back to Buffalo, they have C.J. Massenberg, averaging 17 a game, 47% from the floor. He's big. He's a good player. But like I said, they're ranked too high. They could sneak their way in to the Elite 8 portion. So let me see the new poll. Because, I don't know. I know Michigan State won tonight over Maryland. But
did.
Maryland, I hate Mark Turgeon. I think he's an absolute dope. Maryland has all the talent to be in that Final Four Elite 8 category of bracketology. But Mark Turgeon is just – I don't think the guy has a clue. But Michigan State does have an All-American point guard in Cassius Winston. But I'm just not sold on their supporting cast this season. I have to watch them more. Nevada, I wrote about this week, is an Elite 8 team.
Yeah.
Kentucky, I'm not buying it all.
You're not buying the Wildcats?
No, can't defend the three ball, Frank.
All right.
And Quade Green is transferring to Washington, so he's no longer.
Wow.
They do have Keldon Johnson, though, who's going to be probably a top 10 pick. So, there's obviously talent there, and, Cal has a way of having the incoming freshmen and high-profile recruits peaking at tournament time. But as of right now, I'm not buying Kentucky at all. North Carolina, I like a lot. Virginia Tech, I like their team a lot, but they're just not winning games. Not only are they not beating North Carolina and Virginia, but they don't even look like they belong on the same court, which is a problem for me. You got to show you belong.
Yep.
Texas Tech, I was hot on. They had a horrendous week last week. Maryland just lost tonight. Yeah, Texas Tech last week. I love that. I love that team. They'll be a team I envision writing about.
Yeah, I did not expect
more.
Texas Tech to.
Chris Beard's an excellent coach. Jared Culliver is a great player. They're 15-3. They held Duke to 61 points in the non-conference. That raised my eyebrows big time. They didn't win the game, but They lose to Iowa State and Baylor last week, and that's just not worthy of Brinkman bracketology.
Right.
You got to bring it better.
Now, there was one team I know I'm probably going to ask about over the course of bracketology.
Western Kentucky?
Not Western Kentucky. It's actually my dad's alma mater, Kansas State.
See, they went to the Final Four last year.
They were Elite Eight last year.
That's right. They lost to Loyola Chicago.
Yep. And I know they started the year as a fringe top 10 team, and then they had a series of bad losses.
Because they looked good in the preseason.
Yeah.
Because they went to the Elite Eight and had all their guys back.
Exactly. And I thought
and it just hasn't translated
maybe K-State
this year.
was going to make some sort of run. Maybe give Kansas a run for their money.
No. Kansas is really good.
Yeah.
They're ranked number 9 right now. They're actually in a battle with Iowa State right now. 42-37, just about halftime there at Fog Allen. But Kansas is a team I like. And you get down to it, Buffalo. I was at the Nova game on
I saw that
Friday
on
with my dad for his
media.
Christmas present.
There you go.
They played Xavier. I mean, they're okay. They're 14-4.
Yeah.
I don't see them repeating. I think Marquette.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
I think
with
Marquette
Nova.
is the class of the Big East this season. So I don't see it. Houston, I haven't seen much of yet. I mean, Iowa's 16-3. I don't know. I don't see Iowa. I gotta check out Iowa more.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is a team I like. NC State is a team I like as well. Playing in the ACC, they can really score. They finally have a coach who knows his ass from his elbow. So they're a team to look on. Mississippi State is a team that I don't buy. 14-3, no star power at the guard position.
Right.
They do have a good coach in Ben Howland. You remember Ben Howland from UCLA?
Yeah.
Coached all those Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love Final Four teams. So he's at Mississippi State now. He's doing well, but I don't believe in them as a national championship, Elite Eight, deep into the tournament kind of team.
Let's see. Let me take a look at the rest of the top 25. LSU, what about them?
Yeah, I don't know much about LSU. They're new to the poll this week.
Okay. Because I'm looking at all the
Iowa
other teams.
State.
Yeah.
Iowa State, I wasn't a believer in, but if they beat, I think it was last Wednesday, they beat Texas Tech, and then they go into Fog Allen and beat Kansas. That's certainly saying something.
Oh yeah.
And you look at, Louisville, they smoked UNC, but I don't know about Louisville.
Yeah.
They have Chris Mack from Xavier that's coaching them now that Pitino is out. But, yeah, I'm not sure about Louisville. I don't think they're going to beat UNC when all the chips are down.
Right.
I don't think they're as good as Virginia or Virginia Tech, and I don't think they're as good as Duke.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to get Duke.
And then Florida State was ranked. But they must have lost because they're not even ranked this week.
Yeah, I think Florida State lost.
I must have missed that.
Let me see.
I was off my game a little bit this Saturday. I was at a wedding.
All right.
There was an open bar. So
there you go. Let me see. Florida State.
But they almost beat Duke. Duke needed a buzzer beater to beat them.
Oh, yeah.
That's the type of team. A team like Florida State, a team of big athletic guys like Tennessee, Gonzaga, who beat Duke. They're the kind of teams that can match up well with Duke. I think if Duke and Tennessee played right now, that'd be quite a game.
That'd be fun to watch.
But Rick Barnes is the coach of Tennessee, and remember he was the longtime coach at Texas.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he never really did anything to impress me. But that's me. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I'm trying to see what Florida State did to become not ranked.
I think I was looking up their schedule. They lost to Pitt and Boston College this past week.
Yeah, so they collapsed. They lost to Pitt and Florida State. And Pitt and Boston College are not the cream of the ACC crop.
Right.
I mean, Wake Forest is dreadful. Like, they're so bad.
But everybody talks about Anthony Bilas.
I mean, a one-man team isn't going to do nothing in the ACC. I mean, Florida State's 1-4 in the conference.
About the same record as Boston College and Wake Forest.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Clemson's 1-3. Florida State, Notre Dame, Boston College, Miami, and Wake Forest are 1-4 in the ACC. So they got some work to do.
Yep.
But that is Brinkman Brackets. That'll be posted every Monday. Every Monday. I get it to Chris around 3 o'clock, and he's pretty good at putting it right up. So it'll be liked and shared by the team here at A2D, and you can see my thoughts on college basketball every week. We're going to be back next Monday, Frank.
We are.
Brad will be back in the mix.
Woo!
Will Bryce Harper or Manny Machado be signed by the Phillies? How about not even Phillies? Let's take the Phillies out of it. Will they be signed in general so I can really start diving into baseball?
Right.
Will they be signed at all, Frank? Or are they going to be playing these games more?
They're probably teasing us. They're probably going to tease us after the Super Bowl.
Like, the Phillies are going to get one of these guys, right?
We're going to get one, but not both.
I don't care about both. You got to get me one at this point. I'm getting nervous.
I'm worried, too.
I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared that Machado goes to one of the Mets or the Cardinals, one of the sleeper teams I discussed, and, you know, the White Sox just give Harper like $500 million because they won a star. The longer it goes on, the less likely it is that the Phillies score with one of them.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But I don't see who the mystery teams for Bryce Harper could be. Who is he going to sign with?
I mean,
besides the Phillies? The Yankees are out on both of them.
And
though,
you have the Nationals,
they signed
the
Britton,
White Sox,
Octavino, and LeMahieu to just totally jump their payroll. Boston's not doing anything. They're already over the luxury tax and have the biggest payroll. Dodgers have seemed to have shifted their attention to A.J. Pollock. I'm watching the Cardinals and the Mets for Machado.
I think Boris is teasing us. I think he really is. So they can ramp up the value.
Because in Scott Boris's ideal world, he wants Machado to sign first with a team other than the Phillies. So then he can go to Middleton and Clintack and Kapler and whoever else is in on making decisions and say, yo, Machado's gone. My guy's the only guy left. You know, we want $400 million. We want $425. Or we got this mission, or we'll go elsewhere. That's what I hoped happening. Because I think the Phillies' outfield was so inept last year, both offensively and defensively, that I put Harper at a bigger priority than Machado. I think the left side of the infield is going to be okay with a really good player like Segura at shortstop.
Yeah.
Third base, you got to figure out, because I'd be shocked if Maikel Franco is the opening day third baseman. He was basically benched for the last 2 months of the season by Kapler. So I don't know if they're gonna get Harper and maybe trade for Castellanos or get Moustakas in here.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's
maybe a trade with someone else.
Right.
Maybe they'll sign. I guess if you get Machado, having Herrera in right field every day isn't the worst, because that means Nick Williams doesn't have to play, who I hate. And I think Roman Quinn has to be in the lineup every day.
Yeah, I think you put.
He showed
Quinn
a lot of
at center,
potential last year. He's center. You got McCutchen in left. Still a plus defender. Gets on base. I get he's not an MVP anymore. Like the signing. I would have signed Brantley, but we got McCutchen, and I'm not picking that fight, Frank.
Right.
Not picking that fight. We have McCutchen. I'm happy we have McCutchen. It's an upgrade. Hoskins is at first. But you need Harper or Machado to solidify this offseason to get the fans really juiced and excited. Because if you have an opening day roster, okay, Segura's here, Hoskins is back at short, okay. McCutchen's in left, okay, but then I have Quinn, Herrera, and Franco with no additions to the starting pitching staff. I that's underwhelming when you told me that this team has stupid money.
And we didn't spend stupid.
You can't tell me you have stupid money and strike out on these guys.
Right. It's
going
to be the start hunting of 2019.
Why can't they just cut the shit and just
make the deal?
Sit Boris down and say, look, forget these other teams. We want to sign your guy right now. What's it going to take? And just give it to him. Who cares? Pay luxury tax. You've gone how many years without paying luxury tax in this city? You got all this Comcast money I hear everyone talking about all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Go get somebody. Go do something. Prove to me you got stupid money. I hope it happens this week. We have a football-less weekend this week. Give you a chance to get into the other sports, catch up. MLB Hot Stove, bracketology, the NBA. So we'll have an interesting show next week. Brad will be back from Costa Rica. Frank will be back. Sports Hounds will be back next Monday live on A2D Radio. Until then, peace out.